Hello. I had to put a little by my lipstick and get ready. The Facebook Live to my Zoom changes. It doesn't load right away, so I never know when I'm going live and when I'm not. So happy 4th of July, everyone. I hope you're having a great afternoon, great day, celebrating our country. And if you don't like the Yankees, I'm sorry, this is the only team in my house because my son says so. So I just follow along with the ride. So I hope everybody is enjoying their day and it's not too hot for you. I know here in California, it is kind of hot. My name is Kim Hansen. I am the leadership coach, and today we are going to be talking about the first pillar to the 4 pillars of change, of positive change, I should add. And hi Jill, if you have any comments or questions or anything, please put it in the comment section. I'll check them throughout. Hopefully I won't be chatting it up too long. I'm hoping to keep this to 20 minutes, but I might not unintentionally lie here. So hi Benny, hi Melanie, hi Dean, hi Omar. I hope you guys are all doing great. So like I said, today we are going to be talking about the first pillar to my 4 pillars of positive change, intentional change. You know, we all have change. Change is inevitable. We have been talking on a thread that I posted yesterday. Since yesterday, it's a very long thread. I don't even know how many comments it has, but I mean, we've been all over the place on that thread. And basically, you know, we've been talking about retail, and it ultimately, it's talking about change and the change in our industry in retail. And that's just one of the changes that we have to ebb and flow with. So how do we deal with that change in a positive way to grow our companies, to ebb and flow, to use it to our advantage? Because sometimes change, if we fight it, it's not helping us, but sometimes change can actually help us. And there's a whole lot of change going on in the industry. I'll talk about, you know, deregulation is happening, like what we've been talking about on the thread. Manufacturers have sold to large corporations, which has morphed our industry quite a bit. Education has changed. A lot of manufacturers aren't offering education, so education is being offered online, not as much in Salon as it used to be. So much change, and some of it we fight, and it frustrates us. So I created the 4 pillars of change to help us focus on something and help us create an actionable direction towards intentional change. So that some change is unintentional, some change we can't help, but we do have control of what is around or what we do in our businesses, what we do in our lives. So I'm going to screen share here because I have a little PowerPoint for you guys. And let me get this up here. I forgot to click my screen share button. And why don't you guys tell me what you're eating today for your 4th of July celebration? We're having lobster. My son got a new grill, and he decided he's going to make lobster. So that's what we're having. So here we go. So the 4 pillars to effective change. Last week, I talked about why the 4 pillars, why we want change, why we want to move things forward, and why we want to deal with things effectively. And so the 4 pillars to change are reflection, direction, action, and impact. Reflection, direction, action, impact, in that order. And it's a reciprocal revolving door. We're constantly, because we are constantly in a state of change, we're constantly working around these 4 pillars. So we want to start with reflection today. And that is really when we're bumping up against frustration and we're bumping up against things aren't working right. And we've got people in our businesses that are frustrated, and people aren't doing well, and people maybe are leaving, or morale is low, and we can't motivate them. So we need to start with reflecting. We need to reflect on what has happened, what we are doing. We need to look at our systems. We need to figure out what's working. We need to analyze what is going on in our business. And sometimes that analysis takes time. So the first pillar, reflection. And here's the deal. We want to align ourselves with what is happening in our lives or in our business today. Hey, Kenneth. I'm glad you were involved in that. We were just talking about change on that thread. And hi, Scott. And so we want to align ourselves with where we are at currently, in whether it's in our personal lives or in our business lives, whatever it is. We want to currently, what's the current present day? And in order to do that, sometimes we have to rethink the idea of having to be constantly grinding or constantly in motion, constantly in action mode. And at times we need to embrace the concept of rest, recovery, and reflection. And this is how we make progress. We make progress by reflecting on where we are and what is it working? Is it not working? Are our systems working? How we react or act to things, are they working? What's working, what's not working? And sometimes we need to stop moving. We just need to stop moving. And we need to, sometimes for people, sometimes writing is a good way of reflecting. Sometimes people are verbal, and talking is the best way of reflecting. Sometimes even just to pull yourself out of the situation and go on vacation. And then we have our best inspiration or our best aha moments in our relaxing, in our downtime. So resist the urge to constantly be in motion, in a state of like having to, almost like sometimes we get in this state of panic and we just get stuck there. So when we feel internally, when we're feeling that, and we're feeling fear or frustration or anger, we need to stop and we need to reflect. And it's vitally important. And why do we reflect? Reflection gives us perspective. It gives us real perspective on the situation. Hey, Tommy. Reflection teaches us. If we learn from our mistakes, we learn from the past. if we're constantly moving forward, not taking time to breathe, not taking time to relax, not taking time to think, we can't learn from where we've been, because we're just constantly moving. Reflection can inspire us. We get those moments of, oh, that's it. That's, you know, and it happens in those times where we're not even thinking about the problem. Many times. Sometimes we just be having a conversation with another colleague or a friend, and then all of a sudden, boom, inspiration hits us. That's it. I know you guys have had that happen to you. And reflection creates focus. So when we reflect and we take time, we bring things back into perspective or focus. And when we have the right perspective, we see things clearer. I keep this by, this is my little crystal, and I keep it by my my computer on my desk, so that it helps me to create clarity. And at times where I don't have clarity, what this does, it reminds me of when I look, depending on where I look through, if I look through the side where it becomes clear. If I look through the end, I have no clarity. My perspective, my vision, my focus is different than if I look in a different way, in a different part of my crystal. So I keep that by my desk to remind me to always try and get the proper perspective and the proper focus. And how I'm viewing things oftentimes is skewed, and it's not, and that's when I know I need to take time to reflect. Reflection celebrates the wins. If we don't take time, like today, 4th of July. Hi, Elby. 4th of July, it's time to celebrate. I know I'm working, but I have taken time, and I will take more time to celebrate with my kids. If you saw my little DIY fountain that I made, so cool. But I am an entrepreneur, and I do own my own business. And I also need to know that sometimes I need to take 30 minutes out of my day to celebrate you, to teach you, and to share my knowledge. And hopefully, because I've got some fantastic people on here watching, I would love to hear your comments and what you think, because you've taken time out of your day to be here with me as well. So we do need to stop and reflect so that we can celebrate the wins that we have. Reflection also moves us forward. We can't move forward if we don't take time to reflect. Action does move us forward, and action is our third pillar. But if we don't think about what action we're going to take and intentionally take, sometimes we take the wrong action. So we do need to reflect in order to move forward. Reflection also creates intention. In everything we want to do, we need to create intention around it and be very strategic about the things that we say and the things that we do, and not always so reactive. When we don't take time to reflect, we have a tendency to be in a state of reaction all the time. I think I read or I heard the University of San Diego estimates that 90% of our day is spent in reaction. So if we're if 90% of our day is spent in reaction, you know what's happening? When we're in reactive mode, we're producing cortisol. And when we're producing high amounts of cortisol, we don't feel good. We're not healthy. We don't operate, our mind and our body doesn't operate in best performance mode. So when we take time and stop and reflect, we get out of that reaction mode and into reflection and into being thoughtful and into creating right intention. Questions for reflection. So sometimes when we reflect, these are just good questions to kind of have in our minds. And so when you stop and you look at your business and you think to yourself, and there's something not right, and you know there's something not right, you can see it, you can feel the frustration, you can see, maybe you've had a couple of people leave, whatever it is, you can feel it, you can intuitively feel that something's not right. So here's questions for you to ask yourself when you're in moments of reflection, and which will bring you to moments of reflection. So one of them is, what's your biggest asset? Whatever that is, ask yourself right now, hi, Roland, what is your biggest asset? Ask yourself again, right now, what is your biggest liability? The next one, what's my highest high? Where do I love living? Where do I get my most inspiration from? What's my lowest low? What don't I like? Where am I not good? When we create a team, we need to know these things as leaders, because when we're creating a team, we need to know where we live at the highest vibration, so that when we create our team, we can be allowed to vibrate at that highest vibration. And then we start bringing people in who operate where we don't naturally operate. They operate at a higher vibration. We're not all going to be good at the same things. So we need to be thoughtful about where, or even if we're reflecting about a particular period of time and not about ourselves, or whatever it is that you're reflecting on, what was the lowest low there, and what was the highest high there? Again, do you guys understand that it's like a positive and the negative? So what's my biggest asset? What's my biggest liability? What's my highest high? What's my biggest low? What's my most worthwhile emotion? What's my least worthwhile emotion? What serves me and what doesn't serve me? What serves my company? What doesn't serve my company? What serves my clients and what doesn't serve my clients? If we're angry or we're living in reaction mode, do we think that is the best way to serve the people who follow us, or the people? Because really all leadership is you have a servant's heart. You serve the people that you employ. If you're a mother, you serve the people in your family. And what if we're not, if we're having emotions that aren't worthwhile, how is that serving those people? What's my best habit? And what's my worst habit? So think about those questions right now. Like right now, take a moment. Hi, Sharon. Hey, Leon. Hey, Jim. Hey, Jennifer. Ooh, I got a lot of people on now. Hi, Bonnie. What is most fulfilling to me, and what is least fulfilling to me? Take a moment right now in your day and ask yourself these questions, to take a moment to reflect on what's going on exactly right here, right now. Because remember what I said, the University of San Diego estimates that 90% of our day is spent in reaction mode. And when we're in reaction mode, that's only 10%. 10% of our waking hours is not reacting to things. And when we're reacting to things, we're not doing things intentionally. We're not creating intentional change. We're creating reactive change. Next slide. I'm going to my next slide. Okay, commit. So when you ask yourself those questions and you've taken time to stop, you ask yourself those questions, then commit. Commit to something to move you forward in a positive direction. So sometimes what helps people is to find professionals with shared values to guide you with, or to guide you. So yesterday I had a great conversation with a colleague. I love speaking with him. He gets me thinking, he gets me inspired. I like it when people challenge my thinking. I like to be around and surround myself with people who don't always believe what I believe, because those are beliefs, but who value this, have the same values, like trust, where we build trust with each other. Respect, like we're respectful of each other. That's what I mean by shared values. And so people with shared values can be guidance for you if you're stuck. Purposefully meet with a coach or mentor regularly so they can guide you. What happens when I talk with somebody just for a half an hour and then I don't talk to him again? I'm imagine them just going around and talking to like 20 people, and nobody's really getting a deeper understanding of what's really going on. So when I coach people, I generally work with people for a year and sometimes longer, but a lot of times I think if you're with me longer than a year, then I don't want people to work with me forever, like on a regular basis. I'm here, but I need to find a deeper, rooted understanding of where you are. And I can't do that in a 30-minute conversation. So when you meet with a coach or a mentor or whomever it is regularly, and they get to know you and they get to know your business, that helps the other person be able to understand and guide you in a better way. Read and find people to follow. If you don't like to read, then YouTube. I know that my kids are big into YouTube and I prefer reading. I have certain authors and certain people that I follow and that I've gone to see them speak. And I have new people that come into my lives. I'm constantly seeking because that helps to keep me inspired. Prepare with adequate time before a meeting. Okay, reactive mode. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going from one client to another client to another client to another client. And then I have a meeting with my rep, my product rep, and maybe she's even talking to me while I'm finishing reactive mode, reactive mode, reactive mode. We're not prepared. How we're wasting everyone's time. So take time to prepare. And the people that you find a partner with them. Give them the respect. That's part of leadership, you guys. If I don't know how many times I've seen meetings go on in the back room in between clients, like eating lunch, and a leader will say, hey, and they'll start talking to, I've actually even done it myself. Because we don't take time to prepare our thinking and to become intentional about our thinking and about that meeting and preparing for that meeting. So how do you think that meeting goes? Probably not very well. So instead of having those meetings in the break room or in the back room while we're mixing color or while we're shoving some sort of food down on our face. Hey, Patty. Hey, Gloria. Hey, Jackie. Instead of doing that, take time to prepare for the meetings. If it's a meeting with a coach, if it's a meeting with a boss, if it's a meeting with a product, with one of your product reps, if it's a meeting with an educator, whoever, if it's a meeting with a coach, if it's a meeting with a mentor, whoever you're meeting with, take time to think, write down notes, and prepare, and take the proper time, because what are we doing? We're reflecting. When we take time to prepare, we're reflecting on what may have happened or what we want to say, so that we can create direction and then take positive action to then have a positive impact on those that we lead. Another one is reflect after the encounter. Reflect after we meet with people. Write down notes. When I finish coaching someone, I don't do it always right away, but usually within the first, like, say 8 hours, 6 hours after meeting with one of my clients, I have a book for each. I have a little folder for each one of them, and I sit down and reflect on the meeting and reflect on maybe what I want to say next time, or things that I am ruminating about, so that I can be the best advocate for them. Ask good questions. Good questions can only be asked if we take time to prepare. Be accountable to the direction and guidance of your mentor. A lot of times I give direction and the leader is not accountable to that direction. It's like homework, guys. If you're committed to change, if you're committed to positive change, if you're committed to a system, if you're committed to that relationship, if you're committed to your business, follow through on good direction. You don't have to follow through on every direction, but follow through on direction, especially to those people who have a deeper understanding of your business. Don't just follow direction to follow direction. Follow direction. When people give you direction, reflect on the direction they gave you. Decide if it's where you want to go for your business, if it's positive action for your business or positive direction, which will then have a positive impact on the people around you. And then do it. Do it. A lot of times people don't do it. And then like 2 weeks later, because my coaching calls are every other week. So then and if some of my coaching clients are listening, you probably might be feeling a little guilty because sometimes we don't always, 2 weeks go by and then all of a sudden, oh, I didn't get that done. And I mean, I'm not your teacher. There's no grade here, but that's your life. It's your business. It's your company. It's your growth. So why not take action? Why not take direction? Mentors and coaches are gifts to your growth. Be grateful for their knowledge and guidance and experience. And thank the people in your life. And make sure to express that to people, because like sometimes I don't know what I don't know. So like right now, if you're watching and like I always loves the little hearts and the little thumbs up and the little laughy faces, although a lot of my content isn't like super hilarious, but I love that. They like, that was a good one. That was a good one. And it feeds me to be able to become more inspired for you. So if somebody gives you good advice, or somebody give you advice that had a positive outcome, then thank them. Be grateful to them. And then finally, guys, in partnerships, and when we have committed partnerships, be teachable. Both ends need to be teachable. If I'm your coach, I need to be teachable. If you're my client, you need to be teachable, because what is it? It's a partnership. I don't know everything. You don't know everything. That's part of being humble. And one of the big, I can't think of the word. I want to say aspects. One of the big traits of a leader is humility, and to constantly be teachable and open. And we can't be teachable if we're always in action. We have to reflect in order to be teachable. So that's it. I want everyone to know that I do offer 30-minute complimentary consultations. Sometimes they're quite helpful. Sometimes I think mostly everybody that I speak with for that 30-minute time, either if they don't even become my client, they find it helpful in either way. And then sometimes people do become clients, which is awesome. And it gives you an opportunity to see if you like me. Is basically what that 30-minute consultation is, because we need to have connection. And sometimes you don't have connection with me, and sometimes I don't have connection with you, because I'm not the right coach for everyone. So I give everybody like a little free ride for 30 minutes to see if that works. Thank you for everyone for being on today. Remember, the best time to reflect is and create a habit of reflection is at the end of your day. So if you journal, maybe you just meditate, maybe you're a verbal processor and you verbalize with somebody, but at the end of the day, the best time to reflect is at the end of the day, and try and make reflection a habit. I promise you, if you practice this first pillar regularly, you'll find that you're less reactive and you have more inspiration, and you have a more positive impact on the people that you lead. So I hope that was helpful for everybody. I am going to be on again next Monday to my live master share that I'm doing with Bonnie Bonadeo, Oscar Valencia, and Jared Jackson Dean. And it's actually my turn to present, and I'm going to be talking about how to lead with less. And I love acronyms. So this acronym, LESS, is really more. So less means how to listen. We lead. How do we lead with less? We listen. We, oh my gosh, what is it? We empower, we sacrifice, and we serve. So on Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be back on to talk about leading with less and what that looks like and how that means. And if you can't tune into that one, I'll see you back next Wednesday around the same time. You guys have great fireworks show. For some of you who are on the East Coast, maybe it's just about starting. Enjoy the rest of your 4th of July. Make sure this evening to take time and reflect about your day and celebrate the day and your family, whatever you did. Okay? Bye. Have a great day, and we will talk soon.